Hello, Steve89. I'm here with my friend, the alien, who's here to help me with my little video today. We have some interesting news about about the Alien franchise. Now, as you all know, there is a FX series that's being developed, which I've tried to be optimistic about, but ultimately seems to be more about AI and humans than it actually does to be about the actual aliens. Now, when I first saw reports of this, I thought, well, they're probably putting all their attention on the alien and the designs and how to make that work and the best way to deal with that. And the AI stuff and the human stuff is just the sort of easier part that was done first, and that's sort of why they're talking about those characters and all that, because that's sort of sorted and they're still working on the alien element. And then you sort of realize there is no alien element. It's all about the humans and the androids, and I'm like, really? Because all the alien series just keeps getting further and further away from the actual alien and what people want to see. But then we get some good news that they're actually doing an alien film, and it's going to go back to the root core, elements of the franchise, human versus alien and actual alien. But there's a bad side to this. The bad side is apparently it's being done on streaming, and the justification for this is that in order to do a small film that doesn't have to make a lot of money, that doesn't have to cater to everyone and make everyone happy, so it can just focus on one element of, say, the early films and what worked for that audience. It has to be cheap. So in order to be cheap, they have to have it on Hulu or a streaming service like FX. And I'm like, no, not really, no. I mean, there's no reason why you can't make a small budget film and put it in the cinema. That's ludicrous saying you can't do that. I don't get it. And so it's like you're trying to be optimistic because it's like it sounds like they're trying to go back to the original, base of the franchise and what people actually want, but they're sort of doing it in this sort of halfway. It's like we've got this, streaming TV series that has nothing to do with the alien, and then we've got an alien film that isn't in the cinema. So we don't seem to be able to win. So I really don't know what to make of it, because the guy who's directing it, someone Alvarez, he's worked on a few things. It does sound promising, but just this idea that in order to go back to the basics, we have to be cheap, and we can only be cheap if we have it on streaming. I'm just not really buying it. I think it takes away from what it could be, because you really need, if you're going to do a real alien horror film, you need the big screen. You need to be able to, use that sort of medium properly, and it's just not going to be the same on being released on streaming. I mean, you can still release it on streaming like the week after you have it in the cinemas or whatever, but it needs to go in the cinemas. So that's my hang up with it. But the initial idea, the initial report sounded really good, and I was feeling very optimistic, because I tried to be optimistic about the series, but I just gave up, because I'm like, wow, I thought they were building up to the alien in the reveal and talking about that, and then realised it's just not like a part of it. It's not the main sort of element. I'm like, so you're making an alien show without the alien. And this is just the trend that we have in Hollywood. And it's like we had all these great franchises that came up that were owned by the creators and in charge of the franchises, that did great jobs. And then they all died or transitioned or sold the franchises, or companies bought out the studios and so forth, or their licensing ran out or whatever. And then you get these other people come in and they buy these franchises, the brand recognition and the title and the IP, and then they just use it on the most superficial level, and they actually don't give the fans any of the actual franchise that they actually like, what they fell in love with, what they want to see. It's just really weird. And then you're told that you're wrong if you complain, because you're basically getting something in name only. And it's your problem, you're a hater, because you're not embracing the film, being a fan, because in their mind, fan means buy everything we produce without question. So it's just, we've seen it happen with Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who and all these shows where people take it over and change it, and then attack the people who say this doesn't resemble what we fell in love with and what we want, and if you want us to basically buy the product, you have to give us the product that we want. And then that's met with some sort of resistance, like, how dare you demand what you want as fans? You'll take what you're given and like it. There's this weird sort of this is about us. We're making this for us, not you, not the audience. And like, no, it's entertainment. You're making it for the audience. If it's an established franchise, you're making it for the audience. If it's a new film, an independent film, or a new project, yes, you make it based on the artistic, creative notions that you have. But once it's established in the popular culture and has a fan base, you're making it for the fans. And if you're not prepared to do that, step away. Don't take the job. So I'm just feeling really cautious and anxious about this, but trying to be positive because it could be really great, even though it's not streaming. I don't know. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm trying to be optimistic, but recent years have just shown me that, I'm just wasting my time and setting myself up for disappointment and everything. So we're going to go, aren't we, Mr. Alien? Bye.